Okay, this is the lesson 13.1b. Okay, there's a 13.1a, which you already did, and this is 13.1b. There will also be a 13.1c. When you finish with C, then you'll do the snapshot. This is called area of quadrilaterals, and we're focusing this time on trapezoids. In part A, we focused on parallelograms. Now we're on trapezoids. So what is a trapezoid? A trapezoid is a quadrilateral with only one pair of parallel sides. A parallelogram had two pairs of parallel sides. Trapezoid has only one pair of parallel sides. So here's what we have. We have a trapezoid here, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. That's what makes it a quadrilateral. Quadrilaterals have 4 sides. It's a trapezoid because only base 1 and base 2 are parallel. These two sides, if you extend these lines on and on and on and on, they will never cross. That's what makes them parallel. But these two sides here, if you continue them, eventually they will cross. So they are not parallel. Trapezoids are quadrilaterals, meaning they have 4 sides, but only one pair of the sides is parallel. We call those sides base 1 and base 2. Okay? And here's the height, or how tall the how tall the trapezoid is. Okay? So how do we find the area of a trapezoid? I'm going to take the notes and then we're going to watch a short video so you can see what I'm talking about with pictures. Basically, if you have 2 copies of the same trapezoid, so 2 exact same trapezoids, and you fit them together, you can form a parallelogram. So 2 copies or 2 of the exact same trapezoid can fit together to form a parallelogram. Therefore, the area, this should say area, therefore the area of the trapezoid is 1/2 the area of the parallelogram. All right, I'm going to show you what I mean in a video. So really quickly, I'm going to share my screen and show you a video in pictures that shows you how 2 of the exact same trapezoid can fit together to be a parallelogram. Hey guys, it's Miss Smith. We are back. This is part 2 of area of quadrilaterals, okay? When we left off from part 1, we had just finished parallelograms and we had done the area of a parallelogram equals the base times the height. We are going to move on now to the other quadrilaterals, and so let's get started. Our next quadrilateral is going to be the trapezoid, okay? You can see that trapezoid has 4 sides, so it is a quadrilateral, and the top and the bottom are parallel, but the 2 sides are not parallel. If we continue these 2 side lines, eventually they're going to run into each other, which means they're not parallel, okay? Trapezoid. Well, if you look at a trapezoid, it's actually half of a parallelogram. Watch. Here's another trapezoid that's exactly the same. So here's 1/2 of a parallelogram, here's the other half. So watch how, if I put these 2 together, I have to flip this one over first and then put them together, and voila, that is a parallelogram, right? So 2 exact trapezoids, flip one over, put them together, you get a parallelogram. Now, that means a trapezoid is half of a parallelogram, right? So we know the area of a parallelogram is base times height. So here's the height of this trapezoid, right? Let's find this base. Well, we can call this part base 1 because it is the top of the trapezoid, right? So that's base 1. And we'll call this part right here base 2. If I want to find the area of this parallelogram, I would multiply this entire length here, the base, times the height, right? So let's look at that. If I take the base 1 plus the base 2, and I multiply those two things added together times the height, I will get the area of this entire parallelogram, right? But I don't want the area of the entire parallelogram. I just want the area of the trapezoid. So I basically want half of that. I want this area, but then I want to divide it in half and just take half of it. So if I take the base 1 plus the base 2 and multiply it times the height and divide it by 2, I will get half of that parallelogram, which means I will get the area of the trapezoid, okay? So what this tells you is the formula for the area of a trapezoid is you take base 1, which is right there, and you add it to base 2, the bottom, and you multiply those two added together times the height, and then you divide by 2 and you get the area of a trapezoid, okay?
Okay, so that is the end of the video. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, okay? And we're going to go back to our notes. Okay, so we are back to the notes. You can see there, we're not screen sharing and we're not watching the video anymore. So here you have the formula. The area of a trapezoid is half its height multiplied by the sum of the lengths of its two bases. So basically you're going to do, this is one way to say it, but basically it's B1 plus B2 times the height divided by 2. Okay, that's the area of a trapezoid. Now let's actually do one. Here's a trapezoid. Here's B1, here's B2, and here's the height. Okay, so we're going to do B1, which is 17, plus B2, which is 39. We're going to multiply that total times H, which is 16. And we're going to divide the whole thing by 2, and we'll get the area of the trapezoid. Okay, so I'm going to get out my calculator, and I'm going to do those calculations. Okay, so here's the calculator. 17 plus 39. I'm doing the grouping first, is 56. So this is 56 times 16 divided by 2. So I'm going to do 56 times 16 equals 896 divided by 2. So 896 divided by 2 equals 448. So the area of the trapezoid is 448. And for this is feet. Area is measured in feet squared. So I'm going to put feet squared. Okay, so here's what I did. Base 1 plus base 2, 17 plus 39 times the height, 16. Then I'm going to divide by 2 to get the area of the trapezoid. Okay, B1 plus B2 times H divided by 2 gives you the area of a trapezoid.